Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a great evening. So, what we're going to do is we're going to revisit our liquid loans price prediction. Apparently, there are several of these DeFi protocols that have a similar function to that of liquid loans. And apparently, in my last price prediction, apparently we weren't touching on the specific fork that the liquid loans protocol is using, which is modeled after, I believe I have the accurate one this time, liquidity. Um, and liquidity is a decentralized borrowing protocol that allows you to draw interest free loans against Ether used as collateral. Loans are paid out in the liquidity peg stablecoin and need to maintain a minimum collateral ratio of 110%, right? So this is very much on par with how we're understanding liquid loans. And A very useful product, a very needed product. Liquid loans being probably outside of the Richard Hart projects operating on the post chain, being probably the most successful sacrifice cryptocurrency next to the Richard Hart projects, making a lot of sense. And this protocol being more specified to uh, the function of borrowing, right? And not so much as a lending protocol, right? Um, and these loans are free, right? So that's going to be very useful, and when we're dealing with in certain municipalities, obviously capital gains taxes when you sell crypto. When it's a loan, uh, depending on the municipality you're in, your region of the world, you may not be subject to any capital gains taxes, or if if you basically take out a loan against your assets that you're holding on a protocol. And of course, everybody who's involved with liquid loans hopefully got involved with the sacrifice. Those people pretty much understand how liquid loans works, right, and how liquidity works. But today we're going to talk about the price predictions. And I want to show you something quite interesting where the value of it can go. And just some of my ideas and things I find interesting. So let's take a look at that and see where we're at. All right, so let's just look at some comparison data here looking at liquidity. Um, Notice that about 9 months ago, it reached its all time high of $62.97. Think about that. That is a tremendous gain, and then it dropped 98%. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. Um, the situation with liquid loans uh, being part of the post chain, post ecosystem, the dynamics there are dynamics that are far greater than what we got with liquidity. And think about liquidity was this product on Ethereum, this essentially borrowing protocol, right? Obviously, taking out the need for any type of fees in association with these loans and any middlemen, right? So you think of the importance of that. Um, went from went all the way up to $62.97, right? A tremendous amount gained there, right? Now, of course, what we're going to have with liquid loans and liquidity as far as circulating supplies, I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we have to keep in mind that liquid loans are going to be joined at the hip with Hex. And I think what's going to happen with Hex is as soon as the post chain launches, we're going to see crazy jump in the value of HEX. We're going to see, and I think what's going to happen, it's going to pull liquid loans up with it, right? Liquid loans and HEX, because remember what's going to be happening. People aren't going to be selling their HEX, right? More likely they're going to be using the liquid loans protocol, right? And in using that, what's going to happen is liquid loans is going to gain a tremendous amount of value. Now, again, the supply is going to have an impact on if we can see price gains like this. But what I do see with liquid loans is a very similar path to how the post chain or the post coin is gonna move, because that's another thing. Postcoin is gonna, I believe, gonna perform very, very well, right? Reaching these tremendous gains, like what Richard Hart talks about, reaching 10,000% probably within the first 18 months, right? So you're going to see a tremendous pull up, I believe, with liquid loans, just simply because of its necessity, in a sense, to the post ecosystem. It's going to be a very important. It's not going to just be a hype cryptocurrency. I don't believe this is going to be a cryptocurrency that makes a lot of sense. Also, keep in mind, liquid loans is working with a great amount of value through the sacrifice. Was it $51 million today? I will have to double check that. Don't hold me to that, but a tremendous amount of money was raised through the sacrifice, rather, right? Sacrifice. And so, what we're going to get with that, I believe, is just a very solid product, right? So it's going to move along with Postcoin and Hex. I believe these cryptocurrencies are going to move in. They're going to move in a very uh, uh, synchronized way, right? Um, or it's going to be a type of synergy amongst them, right, where they're all going to play off each other. Um, and because of that, I think their markets are going to be very, very similar. Now, are we going to see uh, liquid loans hit value prices like what we're seeing here, like all-time high of $62? Um, it is not impossible, but I think what's probably going to be more likely is we're going to see liquid loans hit prices and values of around $1, right? And I believe we're going to see that probably within the first year of it being out, right? So you're looking at tremendous amount of value. Let me just check the market cap here of liquidity. I believe it was the market cap here is 76 million. So it's not a very large market cap at this point. But remember, this thing was a great deal more than that. So how much is that? Okay, the fully diluted market cap is $93 million. But then what we have to keep in mind is this was almost $1 billion product, right? Because it's down 98% of its value. So that means that puts it around about um, actually about $7 billion. Would that be 7 billion? 76 million? Yeah, it'd be around several $1 billion, I believe. And so that's a lot of value and growth there. Uh, could we see liquid loans $1 billion product? Absolutely. I can see it being worth billions upon billions of dollars as it runs alongside with Hex. So I'm calling for. I could easily see this hitting around $1 within its first year right out, and it wouldn't surprise me, just simply because I think it's going to be such a useful product. And as we can see here, the tremendous value that's gained through because let's see here, a lot of it was gained at the thousand percentile, 0.0001. And so, even so, I mean, worst case scenario, what about if it, because number one, obviously, I think it's going to perform a great deal better, than what liquidity perform, right? So we're probably going to be looking at, my belief is something like $1, right? Easily $1. Could go beyond that, but at 1,000 percentile, uh, let's see here, you'd be looking at 10 cents on the low end, right? If it performs similar to liquidity, I think it's going to blow performance wise what we see up with liquidity out of water. So I'm thinking that we'll see something like $1, basically 1,000x in no time. And in fact, I don't think it's out of the ballpark for liquid loans to even be able to perform on par with Richard Hart products, right? I think an argument could be made that liquid loans is as important as the Richard Hart products, right? And so for it to do 10,000x, right? 10,000% returns is not. I don't believe that's far fetched either, right? So yeah, certainly I believe we could be looking at something like that, but it will be interesting to watch. I hope this is a better correction of the price predictions with liquid loans, as opposed to the last ones where we erroneously had some other protocols mixed up in there. But before we get out of here, our project, Bitcoin MYK and the BBD coin, this is a product that we were giving out free. It will trade on the Pulse chain as well. We're giving out free for people who sacrificed initially in like PulseX and Pulse chain. And we were looking at liquid loans. We wanted to officially allow people part of the liquid loans community to get the cryptocurrency free based on them sacrificing to these to the project. So what we're going to do now is just take you over to BBD coin, show you what's going on with that. It is trading now on several exchanges. When PulseX comes out, it will be there. You won't really have to do anything. It should appear in your wallet, but you can claim it now and move over use the cryptocurrency now and move it over to your MetaMask wallets, right? So let's take you over there, take a look at that.